Hey everyone, and welcome to the Shuttlecast. My name is Sal.
And I'm Nathan.
And welcome to the 25th. We did it. We're a quarter of the way there.
Yo.
To the end.
Quarter life crisis.
I love it. I haven't been to the theater in... Yep. So I don't have anything new to talk about.
Oh my god.
I know. I've been not with it, man. I don't know. Nothing's... Everyone else went to the theater but me. I mean, I think this weekend's when interesting movies finally come back out again.
I was gonna say where the brief week or two period between Thanksgiving and Christmas is and then once you get closer to Christmas it picks back up.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I'm going through what's playing right now and nothing looks good. It's
You didn't go see Moana 2?
What was that?
You didn't go see Moana 2?
That came out?
Didn't it?
It did. Oh my god, Night Bitch is only in select theaters?
Boo.
Oh my god, it's playing 10 miles away.
It's because it's got bitch in the title. We can't risk that in main theaters.
You suck. Oh my god, Queer already came. Oh, it's coming out this. Oh my god, Queer also comes out this weekend. God damn it.
Queer Media?
She's, by the way, the lady who said that is eating it up.
Oh, good.
So she's really leaning in. No, Queer, it's the new film from Luca Guadagnino. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. I'm a bad Italian, but he's the guy who made Challengers.
Oh, okay.
And it stars Daniel Craig.
Oh, okay, all right.
Apparently that comes out this week. Oh god, not another movie to watch.
After you just said that you haven't been watching anything, this is
Yeah, with the last month, nothing good's come out. It's been Moana, Gladiator, Wicked. I guess that Y2K movie looks eh.
It's it looks like lower end A24, but A24 nevertheless.
Yeah. Werewolves starring Frank Grillo.
You see, I just found out about that, and I feel like it kind of it's the weird thing of you hear it once and then immediately it seems like a lot of people are talking about it.
That might happen to me because I just now heard of that for the first time here live in the studio.
Oh yeah, see, I was updating my trailer playlist and adding in all the trailers for movies coming out in December, and then I didn't watch it, but I saw the one for Werewolves, and I was like, Frank Grillo, what the fuck? And then I started seeing it's like, oh yeah, it's like a throwback to 80s horror, and I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
I like Frank Grillo. Speaking of Frank Grillo,
that's right.
This weekend, or last Thursday, a show starring Frank Grillo debuted that I watched the first 2 episodes that came out of.
I also watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh, you did? So we could discuss it.
We can.
Oh, why is the one already transparent background character fucking Frankenstein?
Because it's David Harbour.
I care about him the least.
People love him.
As opposed to the bride, who I care about the most.
What?
Officially, James Gunn's DC universe has started.
It has. Although I think he's now come out and said it's oh, this isn't what's really launching it. It's Superman. But yeah, this is technically it's well, it's the first thing that came out, James.
And if you really think about it, the Suicide Squad was the start.
Well, yes. I'm glad that they pretty quickly were like, yeah. Listen, this thing happened. It's like, okay, cool. I figured, but thank
Yeah,
you for
so
not dicking around about it.
a version of the movie The Suicide Squad and the show Peacemaker happened.
Yes.
Not word for word. Like people online were like, does that mean that Idris Elba shot David Cornsweth? And it's like, obviously not. Like obviously the whole movie is not canon. As James Gunn
No.
has literally said, and you people are all online, so you should know this, but I guess we have to remind you.
Listen, it's basically like the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are like the film adaptation of Joker within the film Joker Folie à Deux.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, you could watch those to, get the idea. Some of the things are going to be wrong, but hey, that happens in movies that adapt things.
That's right. So Creature Commandos is essentially, it actually really follows. I mean, people like are bitching, and I love people who bitch. And because I'm on the League of Comic Geeks social media, so I see all the comic nerds talking.
Yeah.
And I see what the discourse is, and people are like, "Oh, why did the universe start here? It should have done it like this is how I would have done it." Me, person who's never done anything of meaning in my life.
Sure.
And no full offense, but it's like this is I like this because it's what James clearly wants to say. It's clearly the story he wants to be telling, and it's, in my opinion, very good so far. So maybe we should let him cook.
I will say it is okay. I don't know if I go so far as very good. It it kind of reminds me of the Transylvania show.
The
Which is to say,
Transylvania show?
yeah, on Netflix.
What?
Or I'm sorry, Castlevania. Forgive me.
I was like,
which is to say that and Creature Commandos as a whole, like TV mature action animated shows in the US as a whole so far kind of remind me of like R-rated anime OVAs in like the late 80s and 90s where like they're so impressed being able to be like, oh yeah, even though it's a cartoon, we're saying fuck ass titty bitch cocksucker cunt, all these, oh, we're so edgy, and like the animation is a little choppy, and
yeah,
like I should have expected this going in, because this was announced. James Gunn was like, oh yeah, actors that are going to voice characters will also appear in live action, which means that Creature Commandos, for me, also suffers the issue of having live action actors do voice acting, and are pretty out of their element for the most part.
I would disagree.
Okay.
And say that I think most actors are doing a good job, except for David Arbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was for me, the worst. I think everyone was good, acceptable to good. Like I think I mean obviously Alan Tudyk plays two characters, so like it's kind of like a cheat.
Well, and he's Alan Tudyk. He walks in both worlds. He's perfect.
Alan Tudyk's like Mark Hamill, where it's like he's technically an actor, but he's also in the voice actor camp.
Yes, very much so.
He's allowed to be both.
When he's to that point where it's like, yeah, sometimes I voice animals, I'm like, okay, you understand the craft.
Yeah, like you're good.
see, for me, like as soon as I heard Amanda Waller, I was like, oh no, and I really like Viola Davis in live action.
Yeah,
but when I'm just listening, I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing your face. I'm not seeing like all of your subtle performance. I'm just hearing this deadpan voice.
And it is a shame too that her lines are essentially catching you up on the state of the universe.
That does not help.
So she's
Yeah.
like, "Hi, I'm Amanda Waller. Yes, it's still me. Yes, these movies happened, but kind of not really. Anyway, here's the plot of the new show you're watching. Okay, go." And then she leaves.
Hello, Rick Flag Sr., father of Joel Egerton, and it's like, oh no.
It's like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. I probably if she was around more, I'd have more of an opinion. But she literally comes in and she's like, "Yep, my job is to tell you what's happening. I will go now."
Yeah.
I know she's in later episodes because I kind of saw like half of the this season on Creature Commandos, but I stopped because they were like it was going on for so long, and I was like, I'm just watching the show. So I stopped after like a little bit because I was like, God damn it, this is like very long. I don't want to see this.
I feel you.
I think Indira Varma does a good job. I think Frank Grillo's pretty okay for the most part.
Frank Grillo is hit or miss. I don't think he's done a full on stinker at his worst. But I also don't think he's blown my socks off at his best. So we'll see. I
gotta watch Werewolves, man. It's his month.
Shit, that's right. I'm sure he'll be great in Superman. So I'm excited to see that.
Oh, is he confirmed to be in Superman?
That's what I've heard, because one of the things I heard people making a stink about is there's like photos of him on set, and they're like, why doesn't he have gray hair? It's like, well, I don't know.
They probably, because they animated this like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they probably had an idea for the character, and then, it actually maybe like during the makeup test didn't quite work. And they were like,
yeah, listen, I don't want to see him with, white spray painted hair.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I'll suspend my disbelief.
Listen, man, people go through phases. During Creature Commandos, he was trying out the white, and then after that, he like puts on some hair dye. And listen, people go through changes in life.
That's true. We haven't seen all of Creature Commandos. He could arc out and dye it.
Maybe he is like, oh, maybe to make myself less attractive to the princess, I have to look younger.
I'm made very uncomfortable with how much she wants to fuck me. This needs to stop.
Rick, I saw that you went to the store and you got black hair dye and you got facial cream. What are you doing? Why are you trying to look younger?
Oh shit.
Listen, this can't go on. But yeah, I'd say so far it's fun. They're kind of like doing a bit of an approach where episode 1 was like here's the team, here's the mission.
Yeah.
And then episode 2 we're sort of like, oh hey, by the way, we're in the same country that the bride is from, so we kind of get a bit more of a backstory episode with her.
Yeah, which was cool. I'm playing the waiting game. I haven't been blown away. I think I'm waiting to see when someone actually gets their shot caller activated, because when they were like, it felt like they introduced that, and I was immediately like, oh, no one's at risk of being killed. It's like, I'm gonna shock you really bad if you step out of line. It's like,
yeah,
okay, all right. I don't think that's gonna be a deterrent for these monsters.
It feels like to me when this is just complete game theory. When James Gunn did the Suicide Squad, he was like a guest, and he was able to kind of like just have fun and not care about the state of anything.
Fair.
Now that he's like in charge of the house, he kind of is like, I don't want to kill off people all the time now.
That is a good point. That's a good point. Also, I do love that there's a little animated James Gunn in the intro.
Okay, so I love this because I saw it, and my first thought was, this is gonna piss off all the right people, and then it did.
Yeah.
Like I saw so many people getting their panties in a knot about, oh, it's so like egotistical, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like the intro is so fun and like poppin' that like. To have like for the writer to show like an animated version of him to keep up with the groove, and it's also fun, and also like he's in charge, man. It's his universe. Like if Marvel can have Stan Lee popping up, I think DC can have James Gunn. I think he's a fairly recognizable public figure to where it's kind of like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, it was funny because I first saw it and it did take me a second to be like, oh shit, that's just James Gunn. And it's like, yeah, he's sitting at his laptop typing up the script. And
That's
I'm
what he
like,
does, man.
that,
Yeah, it's good.
that's so fun. Yeah, that's
But it annoyed all the right people because I saw people who really were just like, meh.
how many DeviantArt artists do you think have made Zack Snyder in that animation style just to be like, this is what it should be?
Yeah, oh my god. Jesus. Listen, guys, it's okay to move on.
It's it's begun. An era has ended and an era
Yeah.
has begun.
Let's cherish the good times, okay?
Yeah.
It was like over a decade.
It was.
Enjoy the new stuff because I think this is a good start. I'm really hyped for Superman. I'm Team DC. I really want this to work.
I think Superman is going to be the real test
because
I think that for the most part I think everyone going into Creature Commandos kind of knows what to expect from Creature Commandos. If you've seen the trailer, it's like, oh yeah, this is James Gunn. Like, it's very much in that vein. But the thing is, Superman is a whole different beast. And I think that it needs to be something that feels a little outside his wheelhouse. Because if Superman is just like, if I go into it and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is another James Gunn film, I think we're off to an iffy start. I think he's got to change up his formula a little bit with Superman.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
I'm
excited
hopeful because there's characters in there that are James Gunn-ish characters. Like I imagine Guy Gardner, is that the Green Lantern in the movie? The Nathan Fillion?
So
yeah, I think he's gonna be
it's either him or fuck, what's the other one? I can't remember.
I know he's like a loser.
Yeah, he is a loser.
I don't know. I think it is Guy Gardner. But I mean, the Creature Commandos, it's basically like, hey, do you want like 3 hours of animated The Suicide Squad, but with monsters?
Yeah.
It's like, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I liked The Suicide Squad. I will have more of that,
And I'm hopeful that maybe like because my one complaint of The Suicide Squad is James Gunn is kind of like trigger happy.
He is.
Especially with Polka Dot Man. I thought that was a gigantic mistake.
That was, that, like, for ones, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, either their death was either funny or it had weight. Like, it felt like the completion of where their character would go. Whereas Polka Dot Man just felt like a, haha, you didn't think he was gonna die. It's like, well, yeah, okay. Fine.
Like, yeah, you got me.
You did get me. I really thought I could be invested in him, but egg on my face, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like for that he was just like, hey, have fun. Whereas now that he's in charge, he might be a bit more. He might take a different approach.
He's got to keep things in mind for the Bride and the Frankenstein movie, and the Rick Flag Sr. movie and the Amanda Waller series, and all that stuff.
I will say, G.I. Robot was phenomenal.
G.I. Robot was pretty fun. I think I'll like him more when I'm watching week to week, because I think watching 2 episodes back to back, by like towards the end of the second episode, I was kind of like, all right, I'm kind of done with this joke.
Are you a Nazi, perhaps? It's a good bit.
It's a very good bit. And then I think it's the fish lady that like semi befriends him.
Yeah.
And like, can we go and kill Nazis together? And she's like, yeah, that sounds fine.
G.I. Robot would love a friend to kill Nazis with. The fish lady is great too.
It's a nice counter to KG Beast.
Yeah. Also, next episode is, I think, all about GI Robot because it's called Cheers to the Tin Man.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's going to be a GI Robot focused episode. But it's fun because you have GI Robot, and then the new Indiana Jones game just came out.
Oh,
which is basically Nazi punching simulator.
Oh no! Oh boy. Depending, I guess.
Are you perhaps a Nazi? Do you know much about? We can talk about Indiana Jones for a minute. I haven't played it yet.
I have not heard a syllable.
I'm surprised I haven't yapped about it to you. I'll yap about it now. I'm gonna play it soon. I recently purchased a new computer. It's taking its sweet ass time to get here. I got it on Black Friday sale.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna buy this game no matter what, but then it was like when I was getting this computer, it was like, hey, if you get this computer, you'll also get a free copy of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh,
which is a not great name.
No,
but it's by I think they're called Machine Games or Machine something Games. They are the developers of the new Wolfenstein games.
I've heard people like those.
I like those. I have a big Wolfenstein 2 poster.
That's right. Right.
So what would you imagine an Indiana Jones game to play like?
Like a Tomb Raider, Far Cry exploration with maybe light survival puzzle platforming elements.
Okay, and how would you? So you think it would play kind of like Tomb Raider? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I love you and how like offline you are, because I get to like reveal things to you that I feel like anyone else would be like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But to you, I'm like, hey, here's this great new discovery. It's beautiful.
Oh, good. Yeah.
In a totally endearing way. No, it is a first-person like immersive sim.
Oh.
Where it's not like a Tomb Raider or an Uncharted.
Well.
See, I say that with positivity because I think this is fantastic.
I sense it.
Well, because I think it's it would have been like too easy, I think, to do it like an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider, you know?
Yeah, it's fair. It's
almost
fair.
Expected to be like, oh, you want to be seeing Indiana Jones the entire time, but it's kind of cool that you're like, it's first person Indiana Jones punching Nazis, solving puzzles, exploring ancient civilizations, apparently taking pictures of cats around cities and getting like a little XP from it.
Oh, all right. Oh.
First person whipping Nazis in the face. Using your whip to navigate places and punch a lot of Nazis in the face. Just a lot of Nazi punching.
Wow.
So it's really a fuck Nazis kind of week.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's so good. Need more of those.
It's a very easy topic.
Tis the season to punch some Nazis.
Damn.
So good. So I can't wait to play it. My PC is preparing to ship, so once it arrives, I'll be able to give a more detailed opinion about it. All I know is that I think the animations, from what I've seen, look okay. I never like their models or their faces, but their games play very well and are very fun.
Okay.
I know I've been spoiled that the opening of the game is just recreating the opening of Raiders.
Interesting.
I guess to make you go, oh, it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because that's their thing where it's like, well, you're not going to see him very often, so I guess we'll start by making it familiar.
Yeah, but making go, hey, I haven't heard the actor in a while who they got to do him, so I think when I saw the the announcement trailer like a year or two ago, it sounded pretty good.
It's not Alden Ehrenreich?
I don't know. Who?
Solo.
How many? I think there's like 4 hours of cutscenes though, 3 to 4 hours.
All right.
So there's you basically have a long Indiana Jones movie in there
For sure.
somewhere.
Yeah, depending on how much gameplay how much is that scattered about? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
is it like 4 hours of cutscenes and like 100 hours of gameplay? And it's like,
Oh,
oh,
I hope not 100. They might do like. Also, by the
maybe.
way, it's Troy Baker.
Oh, okay. Well, he can do pretty much anything. So
Yeah,
I
thank God
imagine.
they did that. How long to beat Indiana Jones? 20 to 30 hours.
Okay, that's a good.
That's you love to see that. How long to beat says 11 hours for main story, 21 and a half for main and sides, 26 for completionist.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
a 10-hour single player video game in the year of our Lord 2024 with no multiplayer or online functionality. Are we back?
Not yet.
Did we just win?
Wait till you get the DLC where it's like now it's indie versus indie.
Oh! I will say though, first person, like very like early 2000s, like just team deathmatch, whipping your opponents sounds pretty funny.
That'd be pretty dope.
Fight me
If you
whips
have-
only in the Pharaoh's tomb.
yeah, give me like a Halo Forge map, but it's in a pyramid.
Yes,
Let's do it.
1v1 whips only. That's how real men settle differences.
100%.
All right, well, I've yapped for a bit. I'll give it away.
Oh shit. Well, let's see. What did I watch this week?
Yeah, I'm pulling up my letterbox right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, of course, as ever, I took a little trip to.
The asylum.
It feels so good every time.
It's it's a very good meme. Um, but I watched The Beast of Bray Road, which if there happens to be any cross pollination with Josiah's podcast, The Fictitious Dark, you'll know that The Beast of Bray Road is in fact a cryptid. It's it's its own unique legend.
Yeah, I'm being assaulted right now looking at the images.
Yeah, no, it's something. Um, in the original legend, it's never really clear what the monster is. It seems dog-like, wolf-like. In the Asylum film, they kind of just slice the Gordian knot and go, oh yeah, no, it's a werewolf, and it's like, oh, okay. All right. There's a brief period where they're trying to classify it, and they eventually settle on, oh yeah, there's a werewolf. It's killing people. What do we need? We got to get silver bullets. Um, there's a cryptozoologist who makes a like drug concoction that has like wolf's bane and shit, where it's like, oh, if we inject this into them, then it'll force them to change back. And it's like, okay, this is, it's silly. It if I hadn't already known about it, this movie probably would not stick out to me at all. It's kind of it's standard fare for the Asylum. The werewolf effects look kind of decent. It kind of looks like the monster from the Ewoks movie. So it's got that going for it. Um, but yeah, that was something. That was something that I watched.
I picked the worst like werewolf PNG I could find.
Good. That's all you need to be perfectly honest.
Maybe I'll have him hide behind Indy.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, I'll skip Trouble in Paradise. It's another one of my 30s movie. It was fun. A couple of con artists fall for each other because they are one-upping each other in their cons. It's
Oh, that's
it's
cute.
cool. Yeah. It's kind of like the proto rom-com, you know. So it was fun, but nothing too crazy. Um, from my miscellaneous, I watched a 2007 found footage film called Exhibit A. Um,
Why does that man have a dildo?
in what
Exhibit
regard?
A.
Oh, I actually know what you're talking about. So, Exhibit A it's a very it feels like a very authentic found footage film. Like it opens with like a police file like title page that is just labeling it Exhibit A. So it and like for the most part, you know, I could have been missing some things, but it does really feel like there's no trickery. Like it literally is a scene starts because someone turned on the camera, ends because someone turned off. There's not like jump cuts and stuff like that. Um, but it's basically just a teenage girl, British teenage girl in the UK, um, kind of documenting the crumbling of her family.
Oh,
um,
good.
yeah, no, it's rough. It's so basically her dad was pretty sure that he was gonna get a big promotion, and so he was in the process of getting a new house and moving them out and you know upgrading their life, and then he finds out that he's not getting the promotion, and so you know it like you can from the beginning you can already tell that her dad is like not well. Like you know at first it's just like he's kind of socially awkward, but it's like no, he's kind of got something wrong with him mentally, and so like the continual pressure that he puts on himself and that he kind of thinks his family is putting on him to be you know this provider, this you know the perfect dad, perfect husband. um he cracks quite terribly. um and you know like you see him unravel and they're all kind of like what the fuck is going on, which of course you know when you see someone who's in a downward spiral and you point out that they're in a downward spiral doesn't help.
No.
He you know he at one point gets a hold of her camera and is like documenting random shit that he's like finding in all of their rooms, hence the dildo.
Okay.
You know he he
Okay.
he finds a video his son made of him getting head and it's like oh no. um but yeah, it's very yeah, I would say like you know to the standard audience they're going to think this is really boring because it is pretty slow paced. It's you know again it's a very realistic portrayal of what's going on, but um it really gets you in there with the atmosphere and it like is very unsettling, and once you get to the ending it's like it's pretty horrifying. So high recommend for Exhibit A.
That sounds awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like a terrible time.
It is. Don't you? You know, if you love being miserable, this movie will do it for you.
I love being miserable.
Hell yeah.
That's wonderful. I kind of want to watch that.
Do it.
That sounds like
it's,
my kind of movie.
Yeah, I think you'd quite enjoy it.
This is like Lake Mungo, but British.
I can't confirm, but I do need to see Lake Mungo myself.
You gotta watch Lake Mungo.
Does that make you miserable?
Lake Mungo is like found footage Mike Flanagan.
Oh, okay, all right.
I know I've not watched VHS Beyond yet.
Um,
I'm so sorry.
you tripped just before the finish
I
line.
know. Well, it was a lot. You know how it is, man. When you watch enough VHS movies in a row, you're like,
Oh,
man.
You're talking to the guy who would know.
Yeah, I kind of hit that point. I'm like, I'm a little sick of this. I'm gonna give it like a month or two, then I'll come back and I'll finish it up.
That's fair. I probably could have stood to do that, but I went into the alternate mentality of like, okay, I'm almost done. Let me just get this out of the way.
Yeah, just gotta burst through it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I watched some movies too because I see you have Potentially 3 more to talk about.
Potentially.
I have 4 to talk about.
Oh, well, hey, well, let's do it.
So per our last podcast, I went to Netflix and I watched The Night Before Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy. Because you know I had to do it. I had to. I gotta see, gotta know, man.
Yeah, you had to.
I had to watch it The Night Before Christmas.
The night.
It was certainly a film. You could tell that Vanessa Hudgens don't quite care about this one too much.
Yeah.
She was pretty like, yep, I'm in this one.
It's been a couple of years. I've seen it once, but I do remember that vibe. There's a lot more energy for the princess switch, which even that is like.
Yeah, well, she was having fun with that. 'Cause she was able to play like 2 different characters, and they were like, there's a lot of like subterfuge, and it was a good time. This one is just like, so the plot is like, you know, the prince, or the not even a prince, he's just like a knight. He's just a dude. Yeah. He's not even like a prince in a foreign land, like Enchanted. He's just a guy, and he's going out to go hunting, and then an old lady is like, you have to fight. You have to do your knight's quest and fall in love. So I'm gonna send you to 2019, like Chicago. And the whole movie, I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, do you think he's gonna be okay when COVID hits?
Is he the real patient zero?
Yeah, is this because the whole movie, every time it would count down to Christmas, I'm thinking like, man, he's getting close to not making it through COVID.
That's why this didn't become the trilogy.
That's right. Well, because the thing is, as I'm watching it, I'm like, you know, okay, he's alive and not getting like so many diseases from existing in this, whatever. It's the thing where you can't think about it.
Yeah, it's magic.
It'll hurt your head if you try to think about the movie having any semblance of logic.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. It's he seemingly takes to modern times way too well.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd have more qualms, but he doesn't. They're able to speak perfectly with each other, even though he would not be speaking like a dialect that is understandable to a modern person.
What? Yeah, once I forget how long it takes, but once they get him out of the suit of armor, I'm like, oh, it's over. It's done.
Yeah, and he's just like a fuckboy at that point.
Yeah. And
his name is Sir Cole.
Sir Cole?
Sir Cole.
What a gaylord.
No, his name is Cole.
Boo.
Also, this is a very propaganda movie.
Oh.
So, like, she's like a school teacher, I think. Yeah. Vanessa Hudgens. Mm-hmm. And she has like a fucking like mansion.
Of course.
She's like, oh yeah, I got it from my parents. And you're like, okay, sure. But then at some point, like, you know, when Circle shows up and he's all like, I'm a knight, and oh, hear thee, wench, and stuff like that, you know, like the cops show up, and basically like how they meet is she runs him over with her car.
Right,
but
right.
It's fine because she's going like 3 miles an hour in the snow and he's wearing armor.
Yeah.
And then the cops show up and they think he has like amnesia or something happened because he hit his head. And then, you know, the cops all chill with her and very familial, and you find out that's because her dad was a cop. And I'm like, her dad was a cop in this like little town where nothing happens, and she has like a mansion.
It's that Hollywood writer disconnect from reality.
Yeah.
You know?
And then like you find, and then later like Circle like helps out a bunch of people because he's a knight, and then the cops are like, you should join us. And even though the cops have also established he has no ID, his prints aren't in the system, there's no record of him anywhere, there's no like, the cop doesn't investigate. In fact, he's like, nah, man, join the force. It's that easy.
There's no criminal record. You're in.
Yeah. There's no any record, buddy. And then by the end, he's like, I think I'll join your. He's he uses some fucking medievally way to say police, even though he could have said like the constables
Sure.
or something, or like the guard. He just is like, yeah, I don't know. It's just so bad. And but apparently the guy who plays Circle, was in a canceled, the unaired Game of Thrones prequel pilot.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he was going to play Lord Stark. So the whole movie, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him and I'm like, do you think he did this accent in Game of Thrones? Like the really shitty, like, hello, fair maiden. And I'm like, is he the reason why the Game of Thrones pilot didn't get picked up?
I mean, I think it couldn't have helped. Was it the one that was supposed to be like about the like children of the forest or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, with like Naomi Watts.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Putrid.
So that was fun. I had a good time with that.
I believe you.
I also went to the theater, actually. I lied earlier. I went and I saw a movie in the theaters. And it's a movie I've never seen before in theaters.
Okay.
I had a lovely time witnessing this for the first time. I went to Seattle. I made the trek to go see The Room in theaters. That's right. Thank you. It was life-changing.
I believe it.
It was everything I wanted and more. It was incredible.
Did you have people like shouting out lines as they were happening in the movie?
Yes, so I didn't know like almost any of the rituals.
Yeah.
I knew two. I knew to throw spoons.
Yeah.
And I knew when Mark is like, what's up with the music? The candles, the sexy dress.
Yeah.
And to be like, what music? What candles? What sexy dress? I knew that. But there was a bunch more I didn't know.
Oh yeah, you'll find people that are fucking versed in that.
Yeah, there's you say hi Denny and bye Denny whenever he leaves or comes in.
Nice.
He what else do you do? Whenever it cuts to random like B-roll of San Francisco, you scream meanwhile in San Francisco.
Okay, all right.
Every time they say don't worry about it, you're supposed to like say it along. And there's subtitles too, and there's like in caps it says when to say stuff.
That's great.
So whenever a character says don't worry about it, you're supposed to scream don't worry about it. I was the only person who did verbatim the line where the mom's like, nope, I got the results back yesterday. I definitely have breast cancer. And then whenever the mom like boops Lisa on the nose, there's a guy in the back. He did it once, and then everyone else kind of was joining in as the movie went on. Where whenever she boops her on the nose, you go, "I put my evil inside of you," and it fucking killed me. I was like, "What?
What the fuck?"
It was great. It was so good. I got hit with so many spoons, and then recycled those spoons further along into the theater.
Wonderful.
My theater had a pizza called Sal's Pizza, so I ate that. It was fucking delicious.
That sounds dope.
Fuck, I loved it. I've never seen The Room in theaters. I want to do it so many more times now. It was great.
Yeah, that and Dude Stock are two that I need to go to, because they those both sound like great experiences.
Yeah, no, watching The Room in a theater full of people screaming was a sight to behold. Also, because before the movie played, they were playing a bunch of like old shit, like dumb infomercials, and also like memes from like 2004.
Oh my god!
So remember the Sexy Sax Man?
Yes, I believe so.
I got to watch that in a movie theater.
Incredible.
They played Sexy Sax Man, and I was like, oh my god, am I old? I was watching
had,
and I'm like, I remember when this came out. I hate myself.
you had the Saving Private Ryan moment of just the rapidly aging into an old man.
Dude, that's me in my games Discord server. It's everyone's like, "You're so old." I'm like, "I'm 28," and they're like, "Old man." I'm like, you fucking like children. I hate you. It's so
Damn.
terrible. Um, yeah, I'll pass it back. I have two more to talk about, but they're sort of like a joint effort. I can't
Okay.
break it up.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Should he be in front? No, behind.
Oh, this is nice. So from my trailer W's playlist, if you don't know what that is, watch our previous episodes. I go into it.
Got him.
But I actually was able to watch the second part of two films, in fact, called Alienoid, which are South Korean films. The first, it's Alienoid and Alienoid: Return to the Future.
Let's go,
Uh,
Korea.
Hell yeah!
South Korea. Sorry, I should have.
South Korea,
South Korea.
South Korea, South Korea. They're good. Lots of artists there.
I forget there's a North Korea sometimes.
Oh well, Kimmy's not gonna like that. Um, but so the Alienoid duology is
Yes.
a fucking bonkers sci-fi fantasy with time travel. Um, but basically, there's a species of aliens that they they don't have the death penalty. So for all of their worst criminals, they take them to Earth and implant them into a human and leave them there to die. And for the most part, they are just like living in the human and like are not conscious, like they don't like they're unaware, and when the human host dies, the alien dies and it's over. But every now and then, a prisoner is able to take control of their human host and, break out and run amok. They can't exit the host because but they can do a lot of damage. And when that happens, there's a robot duo called, what are their names? I think it's Guard and Thunder. And Guard gets suited up in like an Iron Man suit, and Thunder is like that floating robot in Star Wars Episode 3 that says Padme died from the Big Sad. So that's kind of their dynamic.
Sorry, calling it the big sad took me out. I didn't expect you to say those words.
Well, it's accurate. But basically, so they take out an alien in like 1300s South Korea, and then they find out that the host body left behind a baby, or that there was a baby left in the village, and they're like, oh, he's gonna die, and so they take her into the future. And it's kind of joked about, but like one of them is like, oh, we can experiment on her and see how to perfect the human form, and it's like, did you? I think it's a joke. I don't know. But she grows up and is fully aware that they're not actually her parents, and like is trying to tell people, but no one believes her, and that part's funny. But basically, there is like big bad alien, and they're like, he wants to break out. He's been able to call in a ship from the alien planet, and they're going to terraform the Earth so that the aliens can live there and they can, run amok and be free, and all the humans will die. So it's like a better version of Man of Steel. And they're like,
I'm about to
okay,
say, this is very Phantom Zone-y.
it's very Phantom Zone-y. The aliens around humans look a lot like the Venom symbiotes. It's all stuff like that. It's all very vaguely familiar imagery. So all of that's going on in the present, and then at the same time, there's alien shit happening back in the 1300s, where there's also like Naruto Avatar-esque wizards that are able to do shit. But yeah, it's all just, it's wackadoodle fun. There's a lot of like great fight choreography, but also a lot of silly slapsticky fight choreography. It's got a little bit of everything. It gets very like muddled and all over the place if my summary is not indicative of that. But it's a lot of fun. I'd say, if you have any interest in exploring South Korean filmography, you can do a lot worse. I think you'll have a lot of fun watching Alienoid.
I definitely want to watch Alienoid.
Check it out. When I last watched, the first one was on Tubi, and the second one was on Prime. So,
Why is God like this?
well, because I found out about Alienoid: Return to the Future came out this year, but Alienoid came out in two.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah,
Fuck, I'll have to watch it.
check it out. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. I guess that was just one, but it had two bundled in.
Oh God, you sucker and succotash.
I mean, you could do your two.
So
I don't have a lot to say about my other two. So.
I did something crazy for the very first time, and it's kind of insane that it took me this long to watch it. I finally watched Gremlins.
Oh yeah,
I'd never seen Gremlins before.
That's pretty wild.
And I fucking loved it.
Aw.
Joe Dante, great, classic movie, really cute, really fun. Yeah, I totally loved it and everything about it. Gizmo was great. It was a very good time. The mom was a badass. She fucking killed it.
It's been years. I do need to revisit it.
Yeah, I forgot where I watched it, but it was a fucking good time. I might have had fuck, I forget. But yeah, I somehow completely missed out on Gremlins. And I've rectified that issue.
Gremlins is in such a weird, it's somewhere between a cult classic and a mainstream thing, It's
Yeah, I think it's mainstream enough to where a good amount of people probably have seen it, but it's also a bit of an older thing, so I kind of get people who say they haven't, like me, who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, because I grew up I grew up also loving it, and this all happened because of you, because of The Burbs. So I watched The Burbs, and I was like, oh my god, this is Joe Dante.
That's right.
And I was like, I've never seen Gremlins. And then my husband was like, what the fuck? But then I after the movie was over, I turned to him and I was like, this reminds me of my favorite Joe Dante movie. And so a few nights later, we watched Small Soldiers.
Yep.
Which is essentially just Gremlins. But it isn't. But it is. So,
at first I thought I had seen that, and in fact I think I have not.
Okay, but I mean, so I think it's phenomenal. I think it's really, really, I think I like it more than Gremlins, but it might be a bias of the fact that I grew up on it.
Sure.
And I mean, it is a movie made later in his career. The effects are really good. It's more of a solid story, I think. Because I think for me, the problem with Gremlins, it's not a huge issue. It's it's a nitpick, honestly. It's the whole after midnight thing. As I'm like, okay, then at what point are you allowed to begin feeding the Gremlins again?
Yeah.
And is this does it magically know your localized time zone? Is this or is it midnight in China where they're from?
Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's some magic, but I feel like and again, it's a nitpick. You kind of just you accept it as the whimsy that it is.
For sure.
I know I'm nitpicking, but it is still there. Small Soldiers though has none of these problems. Everything is really succinct. It makes sense. It's explained. I fucking love Small Soldiers, but I was watching it, and now that this is my first time watching it now as an adult.
Yeah.
And I definitely saw it where I was like, okay, this came out like mid to late 90s. I could see it's by DreamWorks. So I
Yeah.
could see them going, Toy Story did really well.
Yes.
We want to capitalize on Toy Story. But we can't just make our own toy movie
No.
and just have it be animated toys, because then we would rightfully be called hacks.
Yes.
Okay, who can we get? Okay, someone knows Joe Dante. Hey, Joe Dante, can you make Gremlins, but it's kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit with toys?
Yeah.
And then he went, bet. And then he made Small Soldiers.
Also, I just reevaluated, and yes, in fact, I've seen that. So
Okay,
for some
fantastic.
reason, I thought it was called Toy Soldiers. So
No,
you know,
that's
was
that's the movie with Sean Astin where the terrorists take over a school and he has to fight back.
yes, that's right. I thought Sean Astin was in the Small Soldiers, which I thought was the Toy Soldiers.
Yes, no, I for a long time those were switched in my head, but eventually my brain just goes Small Soldiers, the one with the toys, Toy Soldiers, the ones that don't have the toys in them. And eventually it clicked where now I can access the info. It's hotkeyed in my brain.
Well done.
But it took a while because I was like, wait, one of these is a very depressing movie with Sean Astin. One of the first podcasts to talk about toy soldiers in like 2 years.
Yep.
We're cornering the market. But yeah, no, but Small Soldiers is like, and when you look at it that way, it's kind of a miracle how good it is.
Yes.
Because then after I had that theory, I looked up interviews or looked up stuff about it, and I think he was like, yeah, they came to me and said to make a toy movie with, and I was like, okay, cool.
Hey man,
But
if it works, it works.
It works. I mean, and also I think it is a very like progressive movie. I think if Small Soldiers that come out today, it'd be woke DEI trash. Because it is, the movie's whole premise is we have the military soldiers and they're the bad guys. The white males are the bad guys. And then we have these Native American coded monsters as the good guys who just want to be peaceful.
Yeah. See that I think works because at that time period, that's more like a subversion, you know,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, this might be what you expect, but we're gonna turn it on its head. Whereas, nowadays that's just exhausting.
Well, it's fun because it's like it's the Dirty Dozen cast as like the soldiers.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. Whereas now the story gets told way more often.
Yeah.
But it's still good. I think it's a really well done movie. Really good characters, really good set pieces. Like the Barbie doll scene is phenomenal.
I don't recall.
There's a bit where Kirsten Dunst's character, they established she has a bunch of like not Barbie dolls.
Oh.
And then at some point the Commando elite are like, they want to kidnap her to use her as ransom. And so they find a bunch of her Barbie dolls. And they're like, R&R, sir?
God.
And they're like, and Tommy Lee Jones is like, nah, these are our new recruits. And they do this like scary as fuck Frankenstein scene where they like take the chip out of the one of the dead soldier's head and use it to like resurrect these Barbie dolls and turn them into like soldiers. And they have on a loop that like someone saying like, the Commando elites must destroy the Gorgonites. The Gorgonites are scum. And they're like being programmed to hate the Gorgonites.
Okay, I feel it in the
it's tickling
in my brain.
And those Barbie dolls are voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci.
Incredible.
And they have the best voice lines.
Of course.
They're insane. Now I get to play with you.
Oh god.
Do you want a manicure? They're fucking great. Yeah, the Small Soldiers is so good, but it is really just Gremlins with toys. Even the
Yeah.
mom in this, when it was time for her to fight, was like, like as soon as the shit started going down and the mom was there, I was thinking like, is this gonna be like Gremlins where she's gonna like own? And she's like commanding where everyone's supposed to go, and she's taking charge, and she's like gets out a tennis racket and is hitting back the burning fire tennis balls they're shooting into the house.
Yeah.
And she's like in charge of everyone. And I'm like, Joe Dante has a character. Because then you think about the Burbs and how Carrie Fisher is like the boss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm picking it up, Joe Dante. I'm feeling you.
You know, you've got an archetype in your brain.
It's like, all right, if I'm gonna make a movie, it's gotta have weird little things, and the female lead has to totally kick ass. Now, where's my paycheck? And
Now, but see, the question is, when are you going to get to Gremlins 2?
hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
I'm not watching the Gremlins Max animated show though.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you said a Max show? Is it new?
Yeah, season 2 came out this year.
Oh God.
It's called Gremlins: The Wild Batch.
Oh. No. I think you just need Gremlins and Gremlins 2, and then you're good.
Oh no. Sorry. Oh no, it's a prequel.
What?
It's set in 1920s Shanghai.
Oh no.
Oh. It's about young Gizmo.
Oh, that's just you. You could do any type of anthology with Gremlins. I guess a show like that is nostalgia bait, so you got to have the iconography. But
yeah,
oh, man.
I just got really tired. Like just reading it, I just got like really deflated.
You got Saving Private Ryan again.
Yeah, in real time. Oh my god. Okay, how do I purge that information from my brain? Here,
Well,
tell me about Our Little Secret.
Yes. So to get caught up, Lindsay Lohan's Netflix film on. I watched Our Little Secret with my wife, and oh boy, so the story that Lindsay Lohan and the guy from Pretty Little Liars that I watched with my wife, so I know who he is. They used to date. They were like childhood sweethearts, and then something happened, and they split up for 10 years. Which when they showed the flashback to their breakup 10 years ago, and I got Saving Private Ryan, I was like, no, that was just a couple of years ago. Oh fuck.
Was it like back in ye old 2012?
Yeah, I was like, oh Jesus, like because it started in 2014. I'm like, oh okay. 10 years later, I'm like, wait, this is in the future? I was like, oh fuck.
This is in the future. Oh, that's really sad, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that hit me like a truck. But now they are dating different people, and they're off and away to celebrate with their partner's family Christmas, only to find out that their partners are siblings, and so they meet up at the family Christmas party, and rather than let their partners and other people know that their ex is here at the party, they decide to keep it a secret, to not make it awkward for people, and instead, get put into compromising situations anytime they privately have a word that, seems urgent.
Yeah, I was seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's I like it more than Falling for Christmas.
Okay.
My
So-
wife liked Falling for Christmas more, so you
So
know.
I will say I wanted to watch this, and then the husband was like, "No, we have to watch the Vanessa Hudgens," and I was like, "Okay."
I would say this one is more memorable than Night Before Christmas.
Damn
So
it!
you got that going for you. You know, Lindsay Lohan accidentally eats a lot of edibles and has to, you know, take on the Herculean task of acting high. I'm sure she has no idea what that's like. Um,
That actually must have been really traumatizing for her, Nathan.
yeah, no, hey, you know, she did okay. I would. I wouldn't have assumed anything about her previous life based on her performance. It was
In fact, you doubted she ever got high at all.
That's true. Yeah, no, that was the she convinced me that she didn't know how to die. Um
Can I
so
say a fun Lindsay Lohan factoid?
please.
Back when I used to work for Whole Foods, which I'm no longer employed there, so I don't care about talking about them anymore.
Fuck Whole Foods.
Fuck Whole Foods, now I'm not an employee.
Yeah.
God, feels good.
Mm.
We sold kombucha, and I learned about kombucha from working at Whole Foods. And for a while, there was like a it might still been a bit of thing. My last 2.5 years there, I wasn't like at the register. But like it would be like we'd have black label kombucha, which was like you needed an ID to buy it.
What?
Yeah, because kombucha has alcohol in it technically because of the fermentation.
Oh, okay.
So there is technically like a minute percentage alcoholic, but there's the black label ones where it's a bit more. It's like maybe like not even maybe 1 or 2%. I'm guessing, but like a very small amount, right?
Okay.
And people would always ask like, why do we have the card for kombucha? And I was told the story one day. I've not fact checked this, but it's funnier to imagine this is the case.
Sure.
Lindsay Lohan got pulled over because she was drunk driving, and she was like, "No, I've not been drinking, but I've had a lot of kombucha today, and kombucha's alcoholic."
Jesus.
And so because of that, we had to label it and card you for buying kombucha.
Christ.
But the thing is, though, she would have had to have drinking like a seismic fuck ton.
Yeah.
But so she was potentially not. I mean, not actually, drinking just kombucha, but that was the story because it was alcoholic technically.
Okay. All right.
Thanks,
well,
Lindsay.
Is that better or worse than the pathetic excuse that used to get thrown around when people fail a breathalyzer and they're like, no, I just had a lot of poppy seed mushroom, and so that messes with it.
That's really good too.
That if you're stuck on the spot, I guess you could come up with worse explanations, but
Well, it's enough to where I'm sure the first officer that heard it would go, well, I don't actually know.
I mean that fucking that what is it called? Or that urban legend was, I believe, popular in Mythbusters. So
Oh, really?
yeah, where it was like, okay, we're gonna have a shitload of poppy seed mushroom. The breathalyzer notices any difference.
According to the University of Florida Health, it can lead to a positive urine drug test for opiates.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's poppy seed. That dank poppy.
But that might have germinated into, oh, officer, I have not been drinking, I've been eating poppy seeds.
Yeah, I'm only technically high off opioids. Wait, what did you say?
What did you just say to me? Fuck, man.
That's gonna worsen your sentence.
What did you say tonight? Sit down.
Denied. Sit down. You're clearly on acid. That's
officer.
Oh yeah, but anyway, so our little secret. Can you guess what happens? I won't spoil it because you're gonna watch it, but I think you know, and I know you know, and they know so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I also watched The Ultimate Gift, which it's I'll be the first to admit it's a guilty pleasure movie for me. It is basically a Hallmark movie. I think it's technically, I mean it's not literally, but it is. But it's a spoiled rich kid is named as the sole heir to his even more rich grandfather's will, but he has to complete a series of tests to get it. And they're all lessons in humility and all shit like that. And he makes friends with a little cancer patient girl played by Breslin. It's harmless. It's very cheesy. It's very sappy. But it triggers some neurons here and there in my brain. It's a fun one.
Yeah. It's that time, man.
You need a little something like that around Christmas time.
Honestly, it's why I watched Gremlins.
That's true. That Gremlins is better than The Ultimate Gift, but
you should have watched Gremlins.
I should have watched Gremlins. Well, I got to do the double.
Of Gremlins 1 and 2.
All soldiers.
Oh yeah,
yes.
that too. Yeah. Nah, man, you got to re-up on your small soldiers.
That's true.
I wanted to say it before we moved on, but it's a really weird factoid I love, but my main music genre that I listen to is probably video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
My Spotify Wrapped is always like, hey, you listen to like all these game soundtracks, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
So I have, in fact, I grew up playing the Small Soldiers game on PS1.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's I always remembered this because of the game. Because of the soundtrack for the game. It was so like I could probably still like sing it to this day. Parts of it. A really fucking good soundtrack. For inexplicably no reason, this like random movie tie-in game for small soldiers has like the most like bumpin' soundtrack.
Every now and then you find those little hidden gems where someone gave way more of a shit than you would expect for a project like.
It's true. And also because it was one of the very first scores done by Michael Giacchino.
What the fuck?
Yeah, before he like got like who he is today.
Yeah, before he became God.
Before he became God. Movie Bear McCreary, I like to say.
Yeah.
If you're making a movie, chances are you want to get Michael Giacchino. You're making a TV show, you're going to Bear McCreary.
Perfection.
Also, Michael Giacchino's son did the score for The Penguin. He did a very good job.
Oh, well, hey, glad it's running in the family.
Yeah, we'll say if anyone wants to get a really cool soundtrack, look up the Small Soldiers game soundtrack. It's very fucking good because it's like it's all set like on planet Gorgon, where the Gorgonites are from, and it's all about the Commando elites invading the planet.
Oh boy, yeah.
So there's a lot of like tribal and chanting, but then like as if it's the symbol. I'm sure he thought about this, but it's like mirroring the story because like it's very predominantly like tribal like. Industrial orchestral like drums and stuff, but it will get invaded by like military themes.
Yeah.
So it's like this like cool drum and like chanting, and then they get like military trumpets.
Oh boy, yeah.
It's so good, and you're like, why is this so good? And then you're like, oh, Michael Giacchino. I see. I'm so sorry.
I didn't realize God entered the chat, but that makes sense.
For real. And also another cool thing, sorry to go off on video game soundtracks for a moment. Jeremy Soule, who did the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Morrowind, like a legendary composer.
Yeah.
One of his earlier like roles, before he got snatched up by when he was doing like Icewind Dale, and he was doing, I think he does KOTOR,
Oh yeah.
which is he did the soundtracks for the first couple Harry Potter games.
Oh my god.
And this was before Harry Potter had a very like distinct sound and like theme.
Yeah.
Because like they hadn't done the score yet for the movies. Like all they had for the game was like some like, they knew what the actors looked like. They had like costume photos. They had like set photos. But that's it.
Yeah.
They just had the book and like what the sets looked like.
Interesting.
So they didn't have like da na 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 na. They had none of that. So like, think about it if you will. Legendary composer Jeremy Soule, you have to create a like the soundtrack for Harry Potter, and you have no influence from what the movie sounds like.
Yeah.
And what he makes is like really fucking good.
I believe it.
It's like, it feels like Harry Potter, but like it's not using any of the typical like leitmotifs or anything that you're familiar with.
Sure.
So it's like an alternate dimension almost. Like what Harry Potter could have sounded like.
And you said he did a couple of Harry Potter games?
I think I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now, the first 5.
Okay.
And they're very good.
He did more than any of the film composers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think then after 6 was like the weird like Wii first person one.
Oh.
I don't know. They get weird after 5.
Yeah. That stands to reason.
But those first couple are fucking great. Like the games too. Like I think 1 and 2 are pretty good. I think 3 is like the first Harry Potter games are like iterations of each other. Like 2 really feels like 1 but better. And then 3 is like a good continuation of the mechanics and adding in a bunch of new stuff, and also because it's Prisoner of Azkaban, so that's the movie where they actually gave Hogwarts a layout.
Yeah.
So that it's like you do quests and stuff, and like you can go all around Hogwarts. It's great. And then 4 was the weird like, we're gonna be like Gauntlet. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is still kind of fun, but like we lost the plot a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Anyway, video game soundtrack discussion over. It's what I mainly listen to. It's what I love.
I feel you. Let's see. Bear McCleary reminded me that I'm 3 episodes into season 3 of The Bear, which, has been so good.
Dude. Yeah, you're almost caught up, man.
Just about, and I'm psyched that they're confirmed for season 4. I'm loving the direction that it's all going in. I love how each season the setting drastically changes.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching an episode today, I was like, man, I can't believe season 1 is like all about him trying to like integrate into the sandwich.
Yeah, into the beef.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, no, we're gonna become a fancy restaurant. 2, all just okay, we're building it, like happen, and then like season 2 finale. Oh
hey,
fuck,
man, you just died so hard.
Oh piss! It's about that time.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, an hour 18 in.
It's like always around that time. Bizarre.
I don't get it.
I think it's horror magic.
Oh my god, you sounds like you're coming through a tin can.
Probably.
I will say it's insane that The Bear is a season a year, man. It's like an actual TV show.
Yeah, it feels very in like I'm obviously it's still kind of early on, but I'm tentatively slotting it near the Breaking Bad verse in terms of quality. Like,
I would say definitely.
yeah, like
100%.
that's I forget if it's the no, it's the season 2 finale that is like it opens and I'm like I feel like I'm watching a film. Like this is cinema right here.
It is. Also, you know that I think you might have watched the episode already, where when Sydney makes sugar an omelet.
Yes,
I made that.
you made that.
Yeah.
How'd that turn out?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Really
It's-
good.
Well, there's a bit where she like does it for a second, but where you have to like strain the egg through like a thing. That shit.
Oh yeah,
That shit took forever.
I believe it.
But it was like the softest, fluffiest. And with the garlic borson and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it makes you hungry.
That's like a special occasion breakfast because it took me like an hour.
Oh hell yeah!
But fuck, it was. When I took the first bite, I was like, Jesus. I get it, man.
I'm very excited to see Richie as Ben Grimm. That's
Cousin.
that's gonna be so good. I hope they let him swear.
They might,
Well, they
man. Now that Deadpool didn't made a lot of money, they might let him swear.
That's a good point.
Yeah, perfect casting for Ben Grimm, by the way.
Yeah, it's very funny because like I think as I was watching the first season, I was kind of like, I don't know, like he might be all right, and then following him along, I'm like, oh no,
And he becomes the best character.
he does, dude.
Yeah, no, it hits a point where you're like, I want Carmi to lose now. I care about Richie.
Once he starts talking about Carmi failing to self-actualize, got him.
Kill them, man. Yeah, Carmi. I love how Carmi sent Richie to character arc school, and he came back a better person.
He did, dude. Like that transformation was so wild. And it is this like I felt it as we were getting close to opening night where it's like, man, like Carmi and Sydney are like they're classically trained chefs and they're sending all of them off to improve as characters as, workers in the kitchen. But they're not growing. So I could see the arc that was happening where it's like, oh no, now I'm falling behind. And it's like, oh fuck.
And then you have Ibra who doesn't want to change.
Yeah, and they're just like, okay, this little corner of the restaurant is just the it's like, oh, well, that's cool.
That's nice. And it's the
Give
only
him a
one
little
making any
something.
money.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
God, shit.
Yeah, that's hitting me hard.
That hurt.
Where it's like, the menu's too expensive.
What are these things? Microgreens? What are microgreens? They're greens that are micro. Do they need to be?
Non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables. Fuck, dude. I want to rewatch all of The Bear.
Me too.
Yeah.
As I'm getting caught up.
I will say it's awesome that Cousin gets to be Ben Grimm, but did you hear the news about Jeremy Allen White?
So I didn't actually open the articles, but is that a real thing?
Is what a real thing?
Is he playing a fucking hut?
Why would you say that?
You sent me shit that said he's been cast in Grogu and the Mandalorian, or the Mandalorian and Grogu. I can't remember.
I think it's the Mandalorian and Grogu.
That
But
sounds
yeah,
right.
Jeremy Allen White. I just put it on screen. The little image I found is Jeremy Allen White is not just is rumored to be playing Jabba the Hutt's son.
That seems like such a fucking waste.
It's almost as bad as casting Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
Fuck, dude. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's I'd say it's almost worse because it's like, is he gonna is he gonna speak English or
Is it gonna be
you
like the
know?
one hut that is just like for some reason like Al Capone or whatever or Capote?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what are we doing here?
I know that like they're giving Dave Filoni like free fucking reign.
Well, of course, because the Mandalorian keeps the lights on, even though no one likes season 3. But people still like season 1 and 2, which is more than the rest of Disney Wars. So,
Is Dave Filoni like the Ibra of Star Wars?
yeah, I'd say so. He, yeah, especially after this last episode, it turns out that Ibra can't just run the beef because it's too much. But that's Jon Favreau, where it's like, I'm just gonna make Star Wars movies like the old stuff, and it's like, oh, but it's I would say of everyone fucking working in that hack shop, he's probably the closest to George Lucas, where it's, you have really good ideas. Now let's get some good writers that can make those ideas happen.
Exactly.
But we're
Yeah.
in the process of, you have really good ideas. Now write. And it's like, no, different muscles.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I'm so happy I'm out of Star Wars.
It's tremendously satisfying.
Cuz it's like
Like
what is happening? Can I just stop? Can we just stop making new Star Wars?
it's nice to be at that point where you're able to hear more and more catastrophic, terrible, brain dead news about the future of what's happening, and just being like, oh, huh, yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. That's what they would do. There's no more like, oh, is this gonna be good? Like, when caring again, it's like, no, that era's over.
Yeah. Like I saw the news of Jeremy Allen playing Road of the Hutt and I was like, yeah, sure.
Why wouldn't you just make him a bounty hunter? Make him someone who's an actual character. I'm not gonna give a shit about a slug. I guess I'm not gonna give a shit about this movie in general. So what the fuck do I care? But
I can't believe they're bringing back Road of the Hutt. I guess since it's Dave Filoni and he made it, he
yeah,
would.
he's like, he's like, he's not gonna be, this dumb little shit that he was in the Clone Wars. It's years later now. He's basically job. It's like,
Okay. I really hope it's like a big giant like hut suit, but just like it's just actual Jeremy Allen white face in the middle, like Pizza the Hut.
I was gonna say, I want him to be like, I don't know if you saw the live action Jar book, but I want him to be like Christopher Walken,
Yeah.
where it's like if you look really quickly you won't notice, but as soon as you start focusing, you start seeing his real face under the orangutan CGI, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Christopher Walken Jungle Book. Hold on, I just gotta illustrate to the audience.
Yeah, you need to understand where it's like, at first you think it's an optical illusion, where it's like, does this fucking orangutan look like Christopher Walken? And then it settles in, and the horror.
Man, no one has a good image of this. This is crazy.
Yeah, no one gave a shit.
This was a feature film.
No one gave a shit about it, which is ironic because it's one of the better Disney live action remakes. So,
for no inexplicable reason, here is now a picture of Idris Elba posing next to his lion or tiger.
fucking furry.
Add it to the list. Another one. Oh
God.
God damn it!
He's not even trying to hide it anymore.
He's not. He's not, dude. I've not been watching Dune Prophecy. Just get that out of the way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look worth my time.
I really, every time I think about it, I'm like, I could do something else though. I don't
Yeah.
think I necessarily have to do that.
Maybe, maybe whenever I finally make myself some pot brownies, I'll just marathon the whole series and be like, all right, let's get it out of the way before I do a back-to-back of the Dune that I give a shit about.
That's the problem, man. I think like I need friends. I think doing it solo is just like not tenable.
Yeah. Because solo viewing, the stupid kind of just washes over. Like my eyes start to glaze over. I'm like, yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah.
It's rough. I'm very. I don't know. I mean, I guess the books fell into this same trap of like, why the fuck would you pick Kevin J. Anderson to write to write more shit from Frank Herbert? And I'm kind of in the same boat with the show where it's like, why the fuck would you approve these scripts to be connected to the Denny Villeneuve duology?
Yeah.
The thing that people are saying is the actual, like,
that's why I love even the show was like, yeah, we're inspired.
yeah, they were like, oh, we're not really based on KJA, and it's like, but that's where you took the most from.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'd rather watch it with companions to assist.
Yeah.
So we can yap over the boring parts. But speaking of good stuff,
40 minutes out of an hour.
I haven't seen it yet, but they just released the trailer for the first 28 Years Later movie.
Oh shit, that's right. That's gonna be a trilogy?
Yes, it's a trilogy. Which is fun. I'm excited. I need to watch the trailer. I know it stars Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ralph Fiennes and Jodie Comer. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say that. I apologize. She's in stuff. Oh, she was in the bike ride. Oh, she's so good in the bike. Oh, that's her? Oh, it's gonna be a good movie. As one of the 3 people who saw the Bike Riders this year, I gotta say, she's fantastic.
You, Tom Hardy, and Austin Butler, the 3 people that saw the Bike Riders.
I can vouch for her. She's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah, so they're in it. It's the trailer came out. Supposedly Cillian Murphy is reprising his role, but like I don't see where that's confirmed. That might just be
cool.
Oh wait, there's an article, comicbook.com. Oh no, it's what's it say? It's him saying, "I would like to return."
Okay.
So I'm assuming he would, because I'm sure he would return.
He'll be in the after credits first, and it's like, shit, hype up the rest of the trilogy.
Listen, they got him for Quiet Place 2, so I think he'll be in this.
He's another one of those actors where it's like, what's the deal with your agent? Because one minute you're doing Quiet Place Part 2, the next you're doing Oppenheimer, and it's like, what's going on here?
And I feel like that's only because he's been working with Nolan for so long.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't even attribute that to his agent, because like I feel like his agent wouldn't.
That's just him putting in his dues with the Batman trilogy, where it's like, yeah, you can keep being the Scarecrow. He'll be this fun little side character.
Yeah, and Inception and Dunkirk. What the man? He's just a Nolan head.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I got to rewatch Interstellar, by the way, because it's the 10th anniversary. It's been in theaters, and my timeline on Twitter has been just like Interstellar revisionism. Where everyone's like, one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, and I'm like, where the fuck have you people been?
It's not, but
to quote Brian Cox, you are not serious people.
these motherfuckers are not real. All right.
They're only saying this because Oppenheimer was good.
That's what it is. Where it's like this latest movie was good. That means all your movies.
I gotta rewatch. It's been a decade.
I mean, I'm at the point where I kind of need to rewatch Oppenheimer. I'm like, was that movie really good? I know it was 3 hours. That's the only thing I remember.
I will say there are, I think every 2 weeks a clip from Oppenheimer comes across my timeline and I watch it and I go, yeah, that was good. I'm like, yeah.
I think for me, I do think I got a little deflated with that movie because I feel like the actual nuclear explosion was kind of underwhelming, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but you can't say that because it was all practical.
Yeah, but it was apparent that it was a much smaller explosion.
Yeah, but you can't critique something that's practical effects.
Shit, you're so right.
I'll stop talking. Okay, so guys, let's it's comic time.
Oh my god.
But first of all, we're gonna talk about a comic video game. Nathaniel, have you heard of Marvel Rivals?
What the no? DC?
Well, no, it's Marvel Rivals.
Oh, okay.
They're rivaling. You dumb fuck.
Well, I was like, DC is the rival.
This is a video game that just came out like the other day. Titled Marvel Rivals. And it is oddly enough by the same company that did Destiny Rising.
Okay.
Which, by the way, the alpha ended. It was fun.
Oh.
I played the whole month. Most of the month, I stopped the last like 5 days or so because I was like, all the activities I had left to do in the main thing were like really involved, and it's a phone game, and I didn't have time.
Sure.
But I enjoyed my month with it. It was really good.
Very cool.
It was solid. I'm not sure if I would play that forever, but like, it's if you want Destiny on your phone, it's perfect.
All right.
You nailed it. But this is Marvel Rivals is essentially Marvel Overwatch, but third person. So it's like 6v6 team based objectives with Marvel characters. I've played about 2 hours of it. And I love it so far. I think it's really good. It's funny, this channel, we actually, one of our older videos is me reviewing the beta for Overwatch. So I was there on the ground floor of Overwatch. Played. I never played 2. I played 1 a decent amount.
Sure.
I kind of fell off. But this definitely scratched an itch I've not scratched in 5-6 years. The Overwatch itch. I was like, oh god, oh no.
You didn't even know you were itchy.
I forgot this high. All these MVPs are getting to me. Why do I keep MVPing a Squirrel Girl in Luna Snow? It's crazy. But it's a very good game. It's essentially, I like it because it feels like a Marvel game you would have gotten before the MCU.
That's nice.
Where it's like we're not inspired by the movies on how the characters look.
Good.
We're not gonna try to make it seem like we're the MCU.
Yeah.
And it also has a wild like cast of characters. Like Squirrel Girl's playable.
I was gonna say, you said you were playing as Squirrel Girl. That's gotta be
That's a deep pull, man. Are you dead? Sorry, you kind of cut out a little bit.
Oh, did I?
A little bit.
Oh shit. No, I was gonna say, if you were able to play as...
See, he cut out again. I know he said Squirrel Girl, but...
Oh my god. I'm scared.
Don't be scared. It's okay to be scared. Let me list off some wild characters you can play as. So Squirrel Girl, obviously, was not really that mainstream before this game, but now my entire timeline is Squirrel Girl.
Of course.
Jeff the Land Shark.
What?
I love him.
Oh.
You can play as Cloak and Dagger.
Oh God.
You can play as Namor, who I'd say is still pretty not mainstream.
Was he? He was in Wakanda Forever or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
but like, come on.
Oh, listen, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. You can play as Magic.
Oh.
You can play as Penny Parker, Psylocke, Luna Snow.
What?
She's fun to play as.
Oh, okay.
She's like my main, I'd say.
Interesting.
She's a South Korean hero.
Oh.
I know. I had to hold my tongue when you were talking about Alienoid earlier. I was like, I got a thing for that. But there's also the mainstays. There's like Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Star-Lord, Storm, Magneto.
Yeah.
So Punisher's like your tutorial character.
That's cool.
Probably because he just shoots things.
Yeah, he's baby's first. Baby's first to anything.
He's like, you're just like, we haven't gotten weird yet. Iron Fist.
Oh, I hope he's cooler than the show.
It's not Danny Rand, it's Lin Lee.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted to get a natural Asian Iron Fist this time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's like a 6v6 Overwatch like hot characters to make porn to and all, which is really how you fight Overwatch, honestly. Because Overwatch 2 had its lowest player count the day this came out.
Wow.
And it's hitting really good numbers. It's running very well for the most part. Most people aren't having issues. I was having issues, then I realized I didn't update my NVIDIA, which is the NVIDIA update was like, update to play Indiana Jones and Marvel Rivals. And I'm like, fuck. No wonder I was crashing. You idiot. But yeah, I mean, and also I think the thing that, I mean, I will say this. Overwatch 1, when it came out, was a very fun game. I can't speak to the current state of it. Marvel Rivals is a very fun game. A big thing that helped Overwatch's success was its characters.
Yeah.
And not just its characters, but how hot they were. It's true. It's just the God's honest truth.
It's true.
Sex sells. It does.
No,
People have cracked into Marvel Rivals. They've gotten the models. And people are like, they're way more detailed than they should be. As if to say they planned for people to grab them. Because Overwatch, I know this is like 8 years ago when this happened, but they were like really against all the porn.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because I feel like that's their biggest legacy.
Yeah. It's at least hand in hand with the game itself.
Because if you imagine like marketing for a moment, bear with me here. I know this is a very touchy subject because it's talking about sex. But like you're a young man. You want to go do your little goon sesh.
Yeah.
On your favorite hub. And what do you see trending? What's Overwatch? What's this game? And after your post-nut clarity, you're like, I'm gonna Google that real quick. And this is kind of fun. I can play as these characters. I'm just saying, it's marketing, man.
It's they feed each other in many ways.
Yes. And Marvel has it's a huge cast of potential characters. So you kind of have content forever.
Hey man, whatever works.
It's like if you pace it out enough, you have new heroes like all the time. And then skins for those heroes to sell.
Yeah. All the alternates.
Yeah, and it is free to play. And you can play as all the characters too.
Wow.
I was ready to be a League of Legends thing where it's like it's free to play, but you'd have to buy the characters you want to play as. But no, all 33 characters are playable at launch.
Nice.
And there's some cool stuff too, where like the environments are destructible, and also depending on who is on what team or on your team and close enough to you, you can do like it's called dynamic hero synergy, which is like if two characters are like comparable, you can do a team up essentially.
Oh, okay. Like a 2-person ult.
Yeah, so like Hulk and Wolverine can do the fastball special.
Nice.
Shit like that, right? Where it's like, if they're compatible, you could do different abilities. Which is, I think adds a different level of dynamicism that Overwatch doesn't have. Like it has enough new, it has enough familiar, and it has the IP. And I think and the designs are on point. So I'm gonna keep playing it. It's a lot of fun because it's I dropped Deadlock because
I didn't even know you were playing Deadlock.
Oh yeah, I told you about that when it came out.
What is that?
Deadlock's the Valve Dota MOBA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the third-person MOBA.
I vaguely remember.
Jesus, it was like 5 episodes ago. Anyway.
Listen, I'm elderly.
I'm elderly.
my brain goes smooth sometimes, all right?
But I stopped playing Deadlock because, like, you play for 30, 45 minutes and then you lose. And it's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is like a 5 to 10 minute game. So if you lose, it's like, well, okay.
That's fair, but also I feel like I'd have the problem to the opposite, where it's like, oh, I just won in like 5 minutes. Like, you barely get in the zone, really.
Potential. I did get to play one game before we recorded, and I MVP'd, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. As the healer, dude.
Wow.
That's always, like, depressing. It's like when I played Overwatch as Mercy, and I get, like, play the game, and I'm like, guys, I shouldn't. What are we doing?
I shouldn't have to do a big heal.
It's like, come on, fellas. But yeah, it's good. I'll keep up with it. It's free. I mean, thankfully it's free to play, so like, I don't gotta drop any money on it.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
I wish it had. I wish there was a DC Rivals because I care about DC more, but it's okay.
Give it time. They'll ape it.
Yeah, because DC has it's like the multiverses. It's like the DC Warner Brothers Smash Brothers game.
Oh yeah.
And that sounds like not my cup of tea.
I'm sure it's fun.
I'm sure it's fun.
I think for whatever reason my brain just associates it with Space Jam 2, and I'm like, I can't.
It does feel like Space Jam 2 the game, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sad right there.
That is. That's a big sad.
That's big sad. Well, let's talk about the comics I've read in the last week.
Do it.
Now, how do I on the website? I know how to do this on my phone, but the website's different. My comics. Help me. Is there a way to see my reading? I guess I can go through my reviews. Let's see, what was last week? The 4th. Okay. So I got a huge haul last week. I'll even here. Let me get the image open. Well, let me put it here for everybody to look at. So this is my comic haul from last week. Did I send it to the chat at all?
I think so.
The like 30 comics I bought.
You got a lot.
So here's what happened. Let me explain myself, because this is kind of garish.
Yeah, please.
So I discovered, I think I might talk about this last week, that I discovered that Action Comics, since the All In initiative started, has been weekly.
Right, yeah.
And because I really liked Superman, I was like, I will get Action. I'll if my local comic shop has all of the issues, I will buy them all. thinking to myself, surely they can't have all the issues. Darrell was a fool.
Got him.
They had all of them, buddy. So I bought them all. I got the new Absolute Superman #2. I got #2 of Batgirl. What is this number? 155 of Batman. I got #15 of Power Girl. I got #2 of JSA. I got 119 and 120 of Nightwing, so I started Nightwing. I got 14 through 16 of Birds of Prey, so I started that. And then I got 1070 to 1078 of Action Comics.
My God.
Oh, and I got Two-Face, #1. Whew. So I've not read all these.
Yeah.
Because it's 20 comics.
That's quite a bit.
I have read some of them. So I read Absolute Superman #2, and it was a lot better than #1.
Good.
It's an improvement. The first page makes fun of generative AI, so it's a perfect comic in my book.
that activated some neurons.
I was like, "Oh, okay, it's good." It's furthering the story. It's, Superman's got like a suit that talks and kind of like interacts, and there's like a red mist that's his cape. And Lois Lane's like an army person, and by the end she kind of like writes up a report about Superman and realizes she likes to write reports now.
Oh.
And it's like, see? Deep in her heart, she's a journalist. So yeah, it was good. I read it like literally a week ago, so I've kind of forgotten the whole thing, but it was really good. I started Nightwing, and that was solid so far. It's a good ease into the story, because again, it's the all-in thing, so it's all about like getting you introduction to the universe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Absolute. I need to make a thumbnail. I need to make a fucking thumbnail, bro. Hopefully I can find a good image of Absolute Superman. No. That's fine. I'll move on. Maybe I'll do it later. I read the first Birds of Prey, #14. It was good so far. A nice little introduction. I read Power Girl #15. I have the most to say about this.
I was going to say, because you were not sold on the first Power that you, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So the first issues of JSA, Batgirl, and Power Girl, I was like, we'll see.
Yeah.
I read Power Girl #15. It sucked.
Oh my God.
It was really bad.
Oh no.
So like the villain's name is Ejecta, right?
That's right. I do remember that.
This issue opens up and you find out that that's her name because her parents got into a car accident and she was ejected out of the car. I was like, no way. I was like, you really thought you were doing a thing with that, huh?
That's like me being like, my villain name is Headtra, because as a child I suffered head trauma.
I want to like find the page. Power Girl #15. I really hope someone just has this. Oh my God, they do. Okay. I'm gonna... Alright, hold on. Copy image. I'm gonna send that to you in the Shuttlecast. And then I'm gonna put it on screen. Because I want people to know that I'm not fucking with you. I want you to know that I'm being serious.
What the fuck?
It has like the definition of ejecta as the car's going over.
That art style is terrible.
And she's already like kind of got like her iconic hair as a kid.
Yeah.
This is... I knew. I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. I was like, it's just gonna be bad.
Oh fuck.
I was like, there's no way we recover from this.
No, I think you're. I think you've ejected to rock bottom.
I've ejected. I think eject is gonna go on the thumbnail instead of absolute Superman. I'm sorry. Let me just get her real quick.
You did have more to say.
I have more. Yeah. So like the issue starts and it's like 4 months ago.
Yes.
And I'm like, but she's a child now.
Yep.
Like, why is she now a child? And then during this, like, and so then it starts to go into her backstory. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, wait, how are we knowing this? How are we just getting her backstory? And
well, you had to read the previous.
No, they do tell you eventually, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So you're reading this, and it's like, cool, okay, I guess so. I guess this is happening to me. And then at one point of the backstory, it's like 15 years later, and I'm like, wait,
what?
You just said the issue starts with 4 months ago, and now it's 15 years later. So are we now in the future?
What the fuck?
And I'm like, I guess so.
Okay.
And she's grown up, and she's being raised by this villain. I think his name is like what's his fucking name? Where's the fucking phone?
Where's the fucking phone?
It's some dumb comic book name. What is it? What's his fucking name? Tell me, Symbio. Oh. And he raises her.
Yo.
And then she's grown up, and she's like, I'm gonna fight the person who's chasing you, adopted dad. And then like we cut, and Power Girl and her boyfriend are just like have access to this magic mirror somehow. I'm sure if I read a previous issue, I'd know how. And they're able to see her backstory, and I'm like, is this just the backstory mirror? And then like Power Girl's like, yeah, I killed him before, I will kill him again. And then boyfriend's like, why do you hate Symbio? And then Power Girl's like, he's my abuser. And I'm like,
excuse me? What are you doing?
Why would you say that? And now that they were in a relationship, like he also raised Power Girl and then was abusive and terrible, and that's why she hates him. And I'm like, I feel like you saved the phrase abuser for like if they were like your partner and they abused you. That's just like an abusive parent. We have words for that.
Yeah, that seems like they just really wanted to that buzzword.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, okay. That's a bit. I wouldn't have written that. But no. God, Ejecta is like a hard lady to cut and paste.
Oh, it doesn't eject off the page as much as they.
No, it does. She doesn't Ejecta off the page.
No. Okay,
she has to go behind Squirrel Girl though. There we go. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, he's my abuser. He raised me too, but now our friend is in trouble. And last issue, like somehow they got their like telepathy friend in some like awful like telepathy zone, and then it cuts to some random park where Ejecta's like taking pictures with kids, and Power Girl is like, your dad's not who he thinks he is. And the next page, she's talking to Symbio, and she's like, what did you do? And he's like, yeah, fine, I murdered your parents, but like I gave you a better life. And then it cuts to this is all like page to page to page. It's like so manic. It goes from Backstory City to Asgard, the carnal house of God thought in the backstory mirror. And that's 3 pages. Then it goes to like this temporal realm for 1 page. Then it goes to Metropolis Park for 1 page. And it goes to the domain that Symbio is in for a page. And the next page it goes to the hospital. where they're telepathy friends in the hospital, and these two random characters are like, oh, she's okay, and they almost make out, and then the friend like flatlines and like dies.
Oh.
And can I tell you, I hated it. I really, I thought I was like losing my sanity as I was reading it.
I for the life of me, I can't figure out why.
Also, we have this cover on screen. Everybody, rain on Ejecta's parade. There's no parade. There's no such parade.
Well,
okay, like this never happens. She's in like the hospital. What is going on with over here? There's no parade.
It's all a metaphor, you see.
It's all a metaphor.
So,
anyway,
will you be continuing?
I dropped it. I dropped it like a fucking sack of bricks, bro. I'm done.
There you go. That's fair.
I'm done with you. But then I was reading. I've read the first 3 Action comics. So I read that. I'm on screen marking it.
Okay.
Oh no, I read 4. I read that one too. So the 4 Action comics I read were very good.
Oh, good.
Essentially, the Phantom Zone has gone awry.
Oh.
And the prisoners have escaped. Some of them have escaped. And they're like a gross, like, monstrosity. They've been fused together. 3 of them have been fused together. And they like run amok on Metropolis. And then Superman's like, okay, what the fuck happened? And so he has to go into the Phantom Zone to find out.
Oh, God.
And yeah, someone has made parts of the Phantom Zone, like, real.
Oh.
And so he has to fight this big fucking asshole. And it's really good so far. Then as it's happening, like, Supergirl has a plot she's on. And then Superboy has a plot he's on.
Okay.
So Action Comics is so far, from my experience with All In Initiative, this, like, it's like focusing on stories of the Super family.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sure Detective Comics is focusing on stories of the Bat family.
Stands to reason.
Though they weren't in stock, so I didn't buy any of them.
Batman keeps the lights on.
Which is fine, because I prefer Superman so far anyway. And the current stuff.
Alright.
I like the art style, I like the story. Like, the Phantom Zone mystery is really cool. The snippets of Supergirl and Superboy are fun. Fucking digging it. It's probably my favorite current thing. That's not absolute.
I was gonna say, would you still say that Absolute Superman is still your least favorite of that section?
Of the absolute stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still good. It's just not as good as Wonder Woman or Batman.
Oh, sure.
But for like main, I'd say Superman and Wonder Woman are really fucking good. Like Tom King's Wonder Woman run's been awesome so far.
Sweet.
I picked up the 2nd volume, so after I read this, I'll be like caught up.
Hey-oh.
I have a stack of comics next to my desk that I'm slowly chipping away at.
Wonderful.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 comics, so most of them. So thankfully tomorrow I only am pulling 3 comics. Tomorrow I'm grabbing Action Comics 1079, which is the 10th story in the Phantoms storyline.
Oh my god.
I'm also picking up Ultimate X-Men number 10, which I need to read 7, 8, 9. I should probably grab those at some point. And then also coming tomorrow is a Superwoman special. Oh. It's a 48 pager of just Lois Lane, Woman of Steel.
My god.
Which I hope explains why she is the Woman of Steel, or what happened. Because that was a mystery they established.
We'll see.
It guest stars the Atom, Mr. Terrific, Supergirl, and Silver Banshee.
Whoa.
Which is great because I want to read Mr. Terrific stuff because he looks really cool and I know he's going to be in the Superman movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, we gotta get a sense of him.
Yeah, but 48 pages. It's a chunky.
Yeah, that's a beefy boy.
Yeah, because Action Comics is like 36 or something like that. Because there's like 3 different stories in them.
Oh, sure.
So now that I'm looking at the page numbers, how long was Power Girl? Because it felt short. It was 28 pages. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm used to manga chapters, which are like 20 to 24.
Yeah.
So
it's 4 less pages than the previous issue. I could tell that they were
scaled back a little bit.
They were Russian, dude. It was bad, man. I was like, you should have maybe saved some of this, but I get that they wanted the cliffhanger ending of the friend flatlining.
Yeah.
But man, I thought you should have like stuck to like if the friend's being tortured by Ejecta in the whatever realm, maybe since the friend's a telepath, she should have like fought back and like through fighting back, like learned more about Ejecta, and not somehow Power Girl goes to what was it called again? Sorry, Asgard, the carnal house of Godthought, off screen and looked into the backstory mirror. Maybe there was a way you could have consolidated.
No.
Like
you can't read Ejecta's mind. He'll get ejected so quick.
I mean, it's her name, man. She flew out that car, bro.
That's right.
When I opened the comic and I was like, okay, I hope this is good. And the first page was her name's Ejecta because she got launched out of a car as a child. I was like, nope.
That feels like a Taika Waititi joke at that point.
And yet it's like drawn dramatically.
I know.
And they did the fucking Quentin Tarantino like dictionary definition.
Yeah. Ugh.
And it's like, that's not it, brother. That's not.
It's very poorly conceived.
It's not good. So hopefully next week I'll have caught up on Action Comics, and I hope Batgirl's good. Birds of Prey. I read Birds of Prey #1, and that had a better introduction to Batgirl than Batgirl did.
Nice.
It's funny how Batgirl is all about, this is Batgirl and Lady Shiva. And yet I feel like she's better established in the 2 other comics that I've seen her in. Like Lady Shiva is really well established in Black Canary, and then Batgirl is really well established in Birds of Prey, despite not having nearly as much screen time.
Interesting.
Like she's of an ensemble.
Interesting.
I
guess at that point they want to be more efficient in getting you into the character, whereas maybe Batgirl is like, oh, we can draw this out. And it's like, make me care first.
Yeah, I feel like a problem that some of these writers might be having, and I'm just guessing, is that there's the All-In Initiative. And maybe these writers thought, well, I'm just doing Power Girl. I don't really have to write this for new people because no one's going to want to read Power Girl.
Yeah.
When, I did, though. So maybe you should have. Or JSA, where it's like, what casual's gonna pick up JSA?
Yeah.
And it's like, they would have, though. Like, it's like, if I know what's coming out in like a few weeks. They're starting a run in a few weeks called The New Gods. The New Gods. Help me out here. Yeah, The New Gods is coming out next week. #1, it's part of the All-In Initiative. And my husband's actually really excited about it. He wants to try it out, even though he's not a DC comic reader or a superhero comic reader. He mainly reads indie pub stuff.
Oh, okay.
When we go in. So he'll grab Image or Dark Horse or Oni Press or whatever.
Sure.
But this interests him, even though it's and I asked him like why the new gods and why not anything else, and he was like, I don't know anything about them, and they look kind of cool.
Yeah, because they are, to my understanding, they are meant to be like comic book, like New Testament Greek gods, basically. Where it's like, all right. It's a similar vibe, but not, not beholden to that continuity. So, could be interesting.
It could be good, and also, but I'm worried, man, that like because some of these all in comics have not been like new person friendly.
Yeah.
I like what Action Comics is doing, where it's like, hey, you know what the Phantom Zone is, maybe from other stuff. We still explain it.
Sure.
There's like there's a scene in the first Action comic where they show like, they go to this Fortress of Solitude and they show like the whole super family, and unlike JSA, in this comic they like have like everyone's name above their person. So if you don't know who they are, it's like, hey, here's their name.
Yeah, a little cheat sheet for you.
So it's like, oh, cool, thank you. They're not just person.
Yeah, I would hope that they do make new gods more user friendly. Because you said the All In initiative kind of
Kind of what? Sorry.
the All In initiative kind of ties into what is the absolute, right? Like
in a way, yeah. So it's basically the Absolute Universe started instead of the All In initiative, and the idea is that with Absolute, you can just start really from there because it's a whole new universe.
Yeah.
But the idea is that this is a jumping on point for new readers.
Yeah.
So they're kind of tied together.
Because I know that Darkseid is one of the new gods. So the fact that because you said like he made the Absolute Universe or some shit. So
yes, as he basically killed himself.
Yeah.
And made a universe where he's the constant force.
Yeah. So, I would like the new gods might be, like the good, like Darkseid origins deal,
Yeah.
reestablishing him in the new all-in world,
I hope so. I hope it's new reader friendly. I mean, we're gonna have a litmus test because my husband's gonna read it. He has no idea about anything.
Yep.
I have like some semi knowledge, and even I'm sometimes a bit confused. So,
oh yeah,
I want to see if it works, man. It's also so funny that this whole thing's happening. It's all just an AEW joke.
You got hooked,
and no one picks up on it but me. By the way, small AEW update. Man, I'm so tired of wrestling. So exhausted.
Feel it.
But hey, Rampage is ending.
It is.
And their last episode's in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Aww.
Which is kind of like nice. It's a good send off. Apparently, it's gonna be like a stats card too. Which.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they want to send it out.
And then I got an email today from Sling, where they were like, "We're upping our price again," and I immediately canceled.
Perfect.
I was like, "Nah, no, I'm sorry, no, I don't think so."
I won't be requiring your services any longer.
Yeah, it's so much to keep up with.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the show. This is an interesting thumbnail today.
I can only imagine the hodgepodge we got going on.
I mean, we started and ended with comics.
Yeah.
There's some video game talks peppered in. There's the Netflix movies, the Netflix Christmas movies.
Wonderful.
There's the Joe Dante. There's Road to the Hut.
God.
As portrayed by Jeremy Allen White.
Carmy the Hut.
Can I make him bigger?
No, please don't.
Should I make him? Let's see. Which layer is this? I have so many. Oh, there he is. Let's make him a little bit. There we go. Yeah. I want him really prevalent on the thumbnail.
God.
And then you got poor little Ejecta up there. She was ejected.
She didn't get kicked out of the thumbnail this time.
No. I think what they're trying to say with the 15 years later and what they portally maybe said was that in like the realm of Symbio or whatever, she aged way faster.
Okay.
So for her it was 15 years, but they don't say that. So I'm just guessing.
Well, you'll never know.
Because why say 4 months ago and then say 15 years later?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
You lost me.
What are you trying to say? I really want to fucking know.
No, see, the thing is, 4 months ago, I told you my backstory from 15 years ago.
Right.
So
Likely story.
Well, you know.
Anyway, I guess I'll check. I know. What's in theaters this weekend? What's coming out, guys? I mean, who would know?
The War of the
The War of the Roses?
Yeah.
Oh, the War of the Rohirrim.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, War of the Rohirrim. Craven the Hunter. Queer. Jesus Christ, guys. 3 movies I want to go see in one weekend?
Well, you know.
This is appalling.
Gotta make up for all that lost time.
You couldn't have put these out like any other time before.
No.
All right, so I'll see what I can get to. I'll see what I can watch. But for now, thank you all so much for listening to the Shuttlecast. We really appreciate it.
We do. Apparently, it's better if we don't have this in the playlist, so that you just stumble across this as it is. I don't know, man.
That was so trippy when Joe was like, "Hey, so episode 24 was the best received episode since episode 16." And I went to go and I was like, oh, well, I should look at the views for that. And the easiest way to do it was to look at the playlist because it's all in the playlist. And then those are the 2 episodes not in the playlist. And I was like, huh. I wonder if this has a correlation.
It would be quite a coincidence. So, because I do assume that most of our viewers just stumble upon this somehow. I don't think we have a dedicated viewing base.
It's probably just Joe and Grace, and then maybe there's like some friends of ours who just don't say anything.
That could be.
And they just listen for the fun of it, for the love of the game, I guess.
Yeah, it's something to have in the background.
It's just an excuse for us to yap.
Yeah.
It's just the check-in.
Yes, it's just us going, what'd you watch this week?
So, hey, what were you up to?
Yeah.
And then we happened to record it for potential listening pleasure and viewing because it's interactive.
That's right. There's a visual element to it.
There's a lot of fun little like unspoken decisions I make during an episode. Like I'll be like moving things around, like, does it look better over here? Anyway, thank you all. We're doing this is what we do after the podcast. I'm going to stop it now. Thank you all so much.
Yeah.